As you can see, and I'll go inside of the mold. You can see the fabric that keeps the top of the head from ripping apart. But everything, oop, come on. Why is this giving me such a hard time? I don't understand this. Why? So, yeah, it came out really nice. All the details are in there. The seam where I cut it, right here. You barely see it. It comes tight together. So the Ultra is molded. Now the clay head came out perfect too. A little bit of scratching on the top of the head when I was knifing the silicone apart, but nothing that I can't repair. And I'm also going to stone that and get the process started. I was thinking about making another clay head just to get one started. Anyway, I'm just happy that this came out perfect. So the silicone mold is done, and now I can make multiple clay heads in the original size, no shrinkage. It's the original size. This way I can make the 26-inch. Hey, what's happening, DP24? Yeah, so this is the silicone mold that came out. I got my light on my phone so you can see the face on the inside. Yeah, it turned out really nice. Perfecto. And all I have to do now is make a clay head. First I'm going to fix up the clay head that was in here. And I'm gonna stone that now. I'm gonna stone it so we have a mold, and then I'm gonna foam fill a latex pool from it. And yeah, we will have a mask. I don't know what the hell. Yeah, it keeps hitting this rotating thing. I don't understand it. Yeah, it's not. Can you see me still? Because I can't see the camera. It's not really. Wow, 14 people on? Holy mackerel. Well, the silicone mold is done. Now all I have to do is do the, I'll take you, can you guys see the video? Can you guys see the video? Okay, you can see it. I just can't see it because it says my rotating thing's locked. The internet's been really weird, man. Now see, I've got my bolts through here, wing nuts holding this bad boy together. There we go. 14 people on with me. So yeah, this is crazy. Now you can see I got my flashlight on. That's the inside of the silicone mold. That'll reproduce a perfect copy of the stone or of the clay head. I'll make another clay head from that. Let's go inside. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Okay, so this is the damage. Just little knife marks, that's all it is. I can smooth that over and it goes all the way down to here. I think I missed it all in here. I didn't get anything here, but I did damage it a little bit right there. But everything else is perfect. Here, I'll show you and get into the light. Get into the light. It came out perfect. So I'm going to stone this now. I got to fix up the spots that need to be fixed. I also have to, let me sit down here because I'm sucking wind today for some reason. Hold on. And it's distorting the face because I'm so close to the face on the sculpture. That's why it looks so elongated, but if I go back far enough, you guys can see that it turned out really nice. Let me back up and then zoom in. Yeah, it came out really, really, really nice. So we're going to have ourselves a really nice copy. I'm going to stone this today. I'm going to get this ball rolling, man. I want this thing made. I want it done. So once I make this, I stone this. All right, so the next process here, the next thing I do is I stone this, and then I make a latex mask in that stone mold, and I foam fill it. Now that will shrink up from, I think, 27.5 inches to 26 inches. Hey, what's up, Call of Duty? Let me say hello to all you guys first before I explain everything here. All right, so Hard Dude's on with me. Are you doing anything different with the hair or paint color for the face? Yes, I've changed the whole thing. Mojito, am I saying that right? If I am, correct me if I'm wrong. Hard Dude, yes, I have changed my paint scheme a little bit. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be more cream color along with browns. It's going to replicate the mask more accurately. Hard Dude, hey, what's up? How's it coming along? It's coming along. Silverado's in the house. Hello. DP24 saying hello. And Mojito, right? I did say that right, Mojito. So what am I doing? I just made a flashback. This is custom corpses. This is my custom corpses. FB stands for flashback, all right? It's the Ultra FB 78 by Custom Corpses. That's all sculpted right into the head. You won't see it because it'll be under the hairline, but if you ever decided to take the hair off the mask, you'll see my logo. So it came out really, really, really nice. This is a very accurate sculpture. I can't wait to get this in latex form. We are going to do that in the next day and a half. Actually, I'm going to stone this today, and going to have to let it cure, let the stone dry for about 3 to 4 days before I can put latex in it. But I'm going to put the stone on this bad boy today. Now that I've got my silicone mold made, I can continue on, and we will have a beautiful. Oh, and I did fix the eye before I molded this in silicone. The eyebrow, the left eyebrow looks very accurate now. All right, to the screen used mask. That left eyebrow was bothering the hell out of me, but it's fixed now. So, Call of Duty, yeah, thank you. It's a lot of work, a lot of patience, time, and a lot of guys that have been on here watching my streaming have bared with me and actually helped me out with a lot of spots where I couldn't, I wasn't seeing certain things. And now all these little defects and black marks you see in there. What happened was, oh God, the clay's dirty. Now, it's not dirty with dirt. It's dirty with black ink. One of my ink, you see, like if I zoom in here, you see those streaks of black in here? Ink kind of spilled into my clay when it was melted. I actually I had a crock pot that was over in the corner there, and I had melted the clay like that. And one of my inks that used to be over there, the lid was off because I was using it for something else. I was painting. I was adding ink to hair. I know that's what I was doing. I was airbrushing ink to the hair, and what happened was the bottle flipped over and then spilled not a lot of ink, but quite a bit of ink went into my clay. And the weird thing is the ink didn't hurt the clay at all. it just has these little streaks of black every once in a while showing up in the in the melted clay. I thought that it would take on, like it would break down and stay in there. Mahita, I'm going to go see you. I'm going to go see you. Okay, Mahita. Okay, you have a great day there, buddy. And yes, this is this is a flashback. Hit the like. Oh my God, 22 people. What do I got to do this during the day more often? Yeah, it's 12 noon. It's Monday. And this is a flashback mask that I made over the past several months. I altered. I actually have made a version 2. There's a version 2 that's accurate that I have right now. I'll show you that in the mask form. Actually, it got relisted, and it's not supposed to be getting relisted because I'm going to take it down off of eBay and send it off to one of the guys that has been helping me along the way. Now, this is the V1 or V2. This is the haired V2. All right. All right, that is the V2. Italian? I guess Italia. 85. Hello. Yes, I haven't started doing the H1 or the H2 yet, the originals. I did the flashback first because nobody had that mask. There's a million people out there with the H1 mask that are very good. I just would be adding to that list of people. But there's not very many flashback masks. Now this is the V2. You can't see it because the hair, like I said, the hair covers the logo. The logo is up underneath it here. Custom Corpses, and then it says V2 on the back of that. But this is a now what I did, because I have, this is the V2 that you're seeing here, and this is the Ultra in clay that I'm going to stone today, and that's my logo. V2 FB78. You can see this on eBay right now. It's up on eBay. Look up Custom Corpses FB78 V2 FB78, and you can see all the pictures of this mask in much better quality because I can't really give you that kind of quality of what this looks like. You know, this is still the hair. I don't put a lot of hairspray in this. There's product in it. There's a lot of hair gel to give it that gnarly look. But I don't put a lot of hair product in it because it allows you to restyle it. Because when you ship these masks, sometimes the hair gets matted because I wrap this in bubble wrap and I make sure that it's stuffed really well. These masks, the hair does get kind of a little bit messed up. Not too bad, but enough to where you have to do a little alterations. That's why I try not to make it dead accurate unless I'm just doing it for photograph reasons. Yes, this is up for sale right now. I'm going to take it down because it's like the 5th week. Apparently, I don't know why, but I'm not getting a lot of traction, and I should be. I also have a website, customcorpses.com. And you want to check out some videos and some people that have actually bought the mask and have the mask and have shown it off. And you can check out those videos. They're really cool. It does blow you away. When you get this thing, it's really a beautiful sculpture. It's really, really on the money. Very accurate to the screen used mask. And then I updated this. Made little tiny changes to it with this Ultra. And this Ultra that I'm getting ready to make is going to be the last flashback that I make. And that's getting ready to be, it's in production right now. I did the silicone mask, and I'm going to stone this probably today, Maybe later on tonight, I got to let the sun go down a little bit because I have to do this in sunlight, and I don't want that clay to melt, get too hot. But you can see the pictures on eBay if you're interested in this. I think I have it listed. When you buy this mask directly, the V2 is going to be lowered to the price of 500. I'm actually in the process of doing a. Let me show you. But I want to increase the size of it. I'm not happy with the size. I think the size is too small. All right, so this is a Shatner. I'm calling it the LC. And that's the Shatner that I'm working on right there. LC. Here you go. That's the LC. Now that's a very small sculpture, so I'm going to make that bigger. I'm going to make it a lot bigger. That's based off the version 1. That's 1978. Came from the actual life cast of William Shatner. So this is exactly what they used to make William Shatner's Halloween, his Captain Kirk mask. And I didn't make a Kirk out of this. I'm going straight to making it a Michael Myers mask, and carved out the eyes already into the clay. Why waste my time with a Kirk mask when I can make it with the eye cuts in it already and just sell it as a Michael Myers mask. There's only a few people that actually collect the Kirk mask. I think there's not very many people, but some do. But people want the Michael Myers mask. That's really what I think anyway. Might be wrong. Hell no. Everybody knows I've been wrong several times in my life before. I'm sorry for it being so shaky because I zoomed in. I made the head bigger, but the face still doesn't look proportioned to the head. So this way it'll fit like a 24-inch head. 24-inch, somebody with a 24-inch head. You see how much bigger and massive the head is? It's exactly, but the face is kind of small. That's why I want to resculpt this. I'm going to sculpt this to exact, and call it the LC, which stands for Life Cast. So wow, 26 people. Man, why am I getting so many people? I have to do this during the day every day. I think 12:40 Mondays, huh? Getting a lot of traction. But this is the Ultra FB78 is in production right now. Well, it's getting molded. Yeah, I mean, Dom, I appreciate the compliment. I mean, I just think that there's a couple guys out there. Jimmy Falco's got a flashback mask that's pretty nice. That's a nice mask. I never knock anybody. I don't knock any. This is a really tough business, and it's really hard to sculpture this guy to be accurate. It is really difficult. It's not an easy sculpture at all. And anybody that even gets close, hats off to him, man. Come on, stay still. I got to get this thing so it sits still. There we go. Let me turn this light around. But this is the Ultra FB78. That gives you a really good idea of what it looks like. Ultra FB78. Yeah, there's a lot of bad masks, but there's also people out there that really, it's because they're really not good sculptors. That's, and I can't say too much because I only started sculpting in clay 5 years ago. So I've only been doing this for 5 years. And I'm 63 years old now. So it's just, the reason why I went with the flashback, well, actually, I was talked into it. a guy that comes on here all the time. His name's Pipe Master, and yeah, yeah, I've lowered the price. Oh, let me say that real quick. If you go check it out on on eBay, the starting bid is at 300. If you're lucky enough to grab one at that price right now, because I sell this mask on my website for $600, but the V2 is going to be lowered to 500. That's going to be the price for that mask there. 500, and this one will be 600, the Ultra. And there will be no more flashbacks from me. I'm not doing any more flashbacks. I got to move on to other masks. Other things I want to do. Yes, they definitely, the mask looks so much different in different lighting. Um, it This really gives you the shadows in the proper places as the original looked in the screen in the flashback scene. This will give you that very accurate look. The dents are subtle. All the denting and all the shaping in the face, they're subtle. But boy, in the right lighting, they really pop. Um, and believe me, you can see, see the shadowing here. Now I got the light here facing away from this mask. It's catching this side of the face, but you can see how the shadows fall in. The sculpt is there. The eye shapes are very important, like your profile. Your peripheral vision in my mask is going to be so good because of how far back I slanted the eye cuts. Accurately to the screen used mask too, by the way. And that's where a lot of people make mistakes with this mask. They don't get the shape of the eye cut right. They don't go far enough back. They don't get enough overhang on the head. Let me try to get this. The forehead hair, this forehead overhangs the undercut of the eye cut, so it gives you that natural shadowing in here. All right. These eye slants, they go back far enough. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I've actually even did a better job with this one. I made the nose more accurate, the lip lines so much more accurate. The cheeks, the scowl is bumping out a little bit straight up from the bridge of the nose. Um, yeah, it's really it's close. It's not exact. Nothing's exact. Nobody has it exact. I wish that was the case. But they are pretty close. Very close to the screen used mask. And it has that dent that's in the cheek here that's supposed to be there, and it has that, it goes down and then it goes across like it's supposed to. Yeah, that's all good for the original mask, but I mean, I'll tell you the best thing I would do if you want that kind of paint job on it. Uh, if you're familiar with James Carter, James Carter is an amazing artist when it comes to painting the original Michael Myers mask. I think he's the best in the business when it comes to painting the original Michael Myers 78 and the 81 part 2. He does both of those masks, and I mean, his stuff's amazing looking. But you can take this mask, and I'm not selling this guy as a blank, but I am selling this guy as a blank. But you have to buy that directly from me. You can't buy it. And I think I'm going to charge $250 for the blanks. They're $250 for the blanks. And I cut the eye cuts, and I cut the nose holes. I never cut the seam in the lip. I cut the ear holes, but I never let people cut the eye cuts, because if you go outside of the sculpt, it's going to make the mask look wrong. You won't ever want to cut outside those eye cuts. The way this comes, you see how this is it's carved into the clay already. All right. Well, when you get it in latex, it's already in there, so you have to follow those lines. Anybody that cuts outside of those lines, I've seen some people do that, and man, it looks like crap. If you're not a really good artist, do not attempt cutting the eyes. Yeah, so I'm going to sell this V1 or V2. I'm sorry, V2. The V1's no longer in production. That's up there. That's the V1. I stopped selling that one up there. I don't even like that mask. I just didn't like the way it looked. So I took it off the market. I vamped it, made it into a V2, and these are the only two masks I have for sale right now. I do have what's the name of it? My Night Creeper, but I don't like the Night Creeper that much. Yeah, well, here's the plan, guys. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this flashback right here, and I'm going to alter this into the 2018. Because the 2018, when you try to buy that from Trick or Treat Studios now, you can never get a good copy. The details are all washed out. And as a matter of fact, I have the 2018, and I stripped the paint off of it, and the latex went bad already. And I got that I ordered that mask before it was available. It was the pre-order situation. You saw it on Facebook. Well, I pre-ordered it. I got it like 6 months later when they finally came out with it. I didn't like that it was so small, very tiny mask. Two, the mask was very thin and a weird feeling latex. The latex, it just felt different. Well, there it is right there. I stripped of its paint, but you see how the latex is all turning dark brown or like dark flesh color? That's all hard. And you see how the lips, they completely separated? The latex is all ripping. It's look at this. Look underneath the neck. See the holes? It's all ripping. And it's literally hard. You touch this, it's almost like it sat under a UV light. And it never did. I don't know why this latex went bad, but I don't think the latex they're using on their mask are that great. So that's just me. What's this? Asylum. What's happening to me? Oh, man, I got to tell you, I loved your video. Loved it, dude. I'm so happy. And I want to send you a small version. Now that I've seen how big my mask is compared to your head, I have a 23-inch made of the H2. You haven't been on in a while. I don't know if you've catched up to my, caught up to some of the videos that I've been doing, like I did one last night. Was it last night or the night before last? Whatever. But the V2, I'm going to send you another I'm going to send you another V2, haired and everything, so you have something to wear, and I'm not charging you anything for it. Wait a minute, Asylum. The mask I gave you, the mask I gave you is too small for your head? No way. Really? So you don't need the 23-inch. That's even worse. The only other size I have of this guy here is a 26-inch. And that's big. If you want that, I can send you that. The 23 inches is too small for your head. Is that what you're saying? The mask that you got was a 24.5-inch mask. That fits you, right? It looked bigger than your head by far on your video. Does that mask fit? The 24 and wait a minute, straighten me out here because you're not being clear enough here. Is the 24-inch and 24.5-inch mask too small? Really? Hmm. Got to figure this out. The only thing I can do is give you the 26. It's not a V3. It's called the Ultra, and this is finished. And I've already siliconed it, and I have to stone it now. Let me turn it around. I'll show you what the logo is on the back. I got a fly driving me crazy in here. This is called the Ultra FB78 Custom Corpses. Yeah, this sculpture is really on point. That's why this is the last flashback I'm doing. Definitely the final one. I mean, you look at it from that angle because you have to when you tilt it straight up and down because the head naturally leans because the neckline is cut with a slant so it fits on your shoulders nicely. It's already cut in. That's why it looks like it's leaning back. When it's straight up and down, the head looks like it's leaning back, and it is leaning back because the neckline is already pre-cut to make it easy for me to cut the mask out when it's in mask form. But looking at that is right on the money, baby. Yeah, we got ourselves a nice man. I'm gonna kill that fly. I'm gonna get that sucker. The Ultra version is the one now. I am starting to sell this guy at a much lower price. He's going to be $500 if you want me to paint it the whole 9 yards. But I'm going to be selling blanks of this guy. I'm not selling blanks of him, but I will be selling blanks of this guy, and I'm selling the blanks for $250. So no hair. I cut the eye cuts out. I cut the ear holes and the nose holes. And that's it. And then I send it off to you, blank, in latex. Yes, I had to fix the nostrils. I had to fix the whole nose. The nose looks a lot better. I'm sorry it's shaking, but I'm holding this and it's zoomed in. We know how that works. But I also fixed that checkmark side eyebrow, made it very screen accurate. Looks really good. The Ultra is calling your name. Well, it'll start being up for sale probably in August. The left lips. You fixed the left lips. I don't know what that means. The lips are spot on, man. The lips are really, really, really good. The left lip. Yeah, that's all done right now. It looks good. You can't see the shadowing in here because but it's dented in. You can see it there. All right. The lip line sinks down better. You can see the little bubble in the corner of the mouth. The lighting in here is not really helping me out here too much. Yeah, it sure is jealous. The FB. The reason why I kind of changed it is because the lip line on this is just going up just a little too high in here. And it makes it look like it's got a little bit of a smile. It's not noticeable when you paint it. Like I say, but it's just a little bit of little bit too much height on that. It needed to sink down further. And I knew that. So I fixed the lip line really, really accurate. Yeah, I think this flashback, this Ultra, is definitely probably a real close copy of the screen used mask. Nothing's ever going to be exact. I don't have a copy of the screen. If I had the mask in front of me, I could replicate it. I know I could, but not having the mask, you don't know what we're relying on so few pictures that give you all the great angles to capture this. But what's that, a fly on his eyebrow? Check him out. Should I splat him? No, I'll wreck my sculpt. He's not even afraid of Michael Myers. Get out of here. Yeah, I love the way this eyebrow looks. I did an awesome job on the eyebrow. And it's all captured in silicone now. So, oh yeah. RBH, even though I don't really like the 2018, I think the 2018 did better at replacing the Kirk look than the flashback. But I still think the flashback is a good replica. The 2018 does have its character look. It has a unique look to it. I'm not I'm going to age this right here, this flashback, into a 2018. That's the next process. That's the next sculpture that takes place. I'm going to take this sculpture right here and I'm going to turn it into a 2018. Age it, cracks, all that fun stuff. But I don't know that I want to alter the look of it. I want to keep it the way it is and make the flashback aged properly and made to look like the 2018. So that's my plan with this sculpture. Raphael. Yes, I just made the silicone mold. I demolded it. It's out there in the backyard. I have the mold ready to go for more not latex, for clay. I need to melt some clay and pour it in there. I'm also going to clean this because this has been wrapped in silicone. So what happens is the clay gets a residue on it from the silicone, and I've got to clean this. I got to clean this down and I got to clean it with naphtha to get that residue off of there, and then retexture it, and then I can stone this, and then I'll be ready to make a yeah, the flashback, it doesn't look exactly like the Captain Kirk, and I'll tell you my theory on this, and I actually think that this is pretty accurate. They tried to make the flashback resemble what he had already created with the 2018 and the kills. Now those masks all look a little different, only because they've been burned, they've been, big crack in the face, the whole 9 yards, melted. So there was some alterations to the eye cuts. They have them more slanted, like on an angle like this, as the mask melded more. So there's more of a slant to them. But the original, which this is a bad copy of it because the latex went bad. That's why I'll never buy another Trick or Treat Studios mask. They did not use good latex on this. And this is only, what, 5 years old? What, 2018? I bought it in 2018. 7 years old, and the latex is already bad. Now, I took the paint off of this, and but the latex went bad, so I didn't even bother repainting it or anything. And if you look at it, you can see the tears in the neck. And this is hard. This is hard as a rock. You know, the latex is all, where you see the dark browns, hold on, let me get my, where you see it turn real dark and brown, that's real hard. You can't do anything with that mask. Can't even put it on without tearing it to pieces. And it deformed really bad. Didn't hold well. The quality of latex that they used was terrible. Yeah, there's a little ring around it, but very you can see it in the shadow. See the shadow? Hold on. It's just a little tiny ring around it. Very subtle. I'm trying to get it so you can see the lighting. Just bumped out a little bit is all it is. But that's it. Yeah, this mask is gonna be fire, man. I did better work on the ears too. More refined on the ears. The right eye cut, that is spot on, brother. That right eye cut is spot on. RBH, I'm going to disagree with you, and I'll tell you why. The H6 isn't even close, not even warm. And I'm an artist, trust me. And as you can see, this is my sculpture. Um, the H6, it just, I'm going to say H4, H5, H6, H7, all of those masks, they were all bad. And I didn't like none of them. They did not replicate Captain Kirk a little bit. I have a Shatner right over here. It's called the LC. There's a Shatner. This is actually from Captain Kirk's life cast. See it? That's actually from his life cast. I didn't sculpt the face. The face is just the way it is. I did cut the eye holes out. I put the eyebrows in, but didn't do much to it. The LC is too small. I mean, in clay, it's 23 inches. The face. If you make that into a mask, it's going to be 22 and a half inches in total size. That mask will look like a stretched out balloon on anybody's face. So I can't use that life cast. Uh, yeah, I don't know all the history of how they did this or how they did that. I know that there was one scene that they used the Captain Kirk mask, and it had, in I think it was H4. H4, they used it in one scene. I think it might have been in the basement scene, but it's a quick glance of the mask, and the hair was blonde on it. And then they used a whole different mask for the rest of the movie. So I don't understand that. So anybody that says, yeah, that's it, that was that particular mask just for that scene with very brief few seconds too that you saw it. The hair looked blonde, but it was an actual Captain Kirk mask. The but they didn't use it for the rest of the film. I think there was an issue with copyright. You know, they didn't have permission to use it. They left it in that scene. Don't know why, but it's in that scene. And the rest of the movie, it wasn't the Captain Kirk, and it was not even sculpted to look like Captain Kirk. Not even close. So, yes, it was one of the. I couldn't remember which scene it was in, but I know that there was a quick glimpse, and it was a Captain Kirk mask. But they stopped the use of it. They didn't use it for the rest of the film. With bandages, Michael with bandages. I mean, that's still not Michael Myers to me. You got to have the mask. Got to have the mask. Oh boy. The reason why this mask looks distorted is because I'm only about 2.5, 3 feet away from this thing. You got to be 6 feet away to get the true look of it. You got to be away from it. And that's about 4 feet away. Our camera lenses on these iPhones distort things at close-ups. In other words, let me try to do this. All right, that's natural. Watch how distorted the face gets as I get closer to it. See how elongated it gets and so narrow? Now, if I back away, same thing with this. I back away. If I can get back far, I can't get back far enough. It all comes out and gives you the natural look. It's still a little bit elongated. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, the Ultra FB is on the money, baby. It's got the look. It really does. It's got what it takes to be my last one. Because at this point, if I found anything else out about this mask, the change would be so minute that it's not worth it. Not worth the aggravation and the time and the money, because you got to silicone this thing. So, yeah, the Ultra is on this. It's really close to the screen used. Really close. I already siliconed it. It's already molded. Well, I mean, I can I'm going to do, I have to fix a couple things. When I cut the silicone mold off, it's got a couple cuts on the top of the head. So I have to fix those, and I'll look for any imperfections. I'll look for any imperfections that I see before I stone it. But this is going to get stoned. I don't even know if I feel like doing it today. I was going to, but it's warm as hell outside, and I can't. The sun's got to go down a lot further before I can do it, because I have to do this in sunlight to stone this. And I don't want the stone to melt, or the stone to melt. I don't want the clay to melt. Heats up and gets real soft. No thanks, don't need that aggravation. So I need the sun to go down a little bit. So I'm either going to stone this tonight when the sun goes down, so it's not in direct sunlight, or I'm going to wait until tomorrow morning, and that's all depending on how I feel. Now, I had a bout of arrhythmia on Saturday. I was in arrhythmia for 20 hours, so I have to reach out to the doctors to let them know that the ablation might have to take place again. I might have to get another ablation. Halloween is almost here. Yes, this guy is going to be in production August 1st, I'm shooting for. I'll be making Halloween Michael Myers, Ultra Michael Myers mask for August 1st. Yeah, I don't know. RBH, I don't know, and I don't criticize people. They like what they like. If you like that mask, then it's the banging mask for you. I'm just not. I like the original mask first. Here's my category. All right, here's my masks. The only mask that I would waste my time, my valuable time. Mojito, he's back. The only mask that I find worthy to make. Here's my list. H1, The reason why I do, let me tell you why I didn't do the H1 first, is because well, I did a night creeper that started to look like the H1, but it wasn't close enough. I needed to do it. I needed more experience to nail this, and I have the experience now. I have enough time invested that I do know how to do the H1 exactly. Now, my list of masks that I would only do: H1 original 78, H2, which is the same mask, only it's made to look like it's stretched out a little bit because Dick Warlock has a wider head, shorter chin, but wider head. And that's why the mask looks different on him. Nick Castle had a longer head and very narrow, so it's stretched. So that's why you got the Nick Castle stretch. Most mask makers do, when they do the H1, they already have the stretch in the mask when they sculpt it. The only way to get a true H1 is actually use a life cast to get the true shape of the mask. And that's what I plan on doing with the LC that's over here. That's a true shape of what the mask originally looked like. When Nick Castle put it on, it was a thin casted mask, and he stretched it, and it looked the way it did. When Dick Warlock wore it, it stretched it in different ways and made it look the way it did. The key to making an accurate Michael Myers mask is you have to use the life cast to replicate the life cast, because then I don't have to make a H2. I can make just the life cast mask, which will give you the stretched look depending on who wears it. And you can put padding in. If you want it to look like the H1, you can put padding into the chin or put padding into the forehead. Whatever you got to do to make it look like the H1 on you. All right. Same with the H2. Now, if you have a long face, there's not too much you can do if I were to use the life cast, because that's too small, that mask. That clay sculpt right there is too small. I need to enlarge that by a lot. So this what you're looking at is 27.5 inches round around the top of this head. That's huge in clay. That one over there was only 24 in diameter. I had to increase the size of the head, but now it looks alien-like because the head looks too big for the face. So I'm not using that face. I'm going to resculpt this from scratch and make it this big. I have the molds for the original FB master copies, but I don't plan on making those masks. I don't plan on making those masks at all. Now wait a minute. You lost track of me. RBH. I think it's goofy, but the movie was better than the previous movies, other than the H1 and H2. All right, so here's what it is. Now, if you want to, I'll give you two lists. The list of masks first, and then I'm going to give you the list of my favorite movies. All right. Okay, the list of masks always comes with H1, 1978, H2, 1978, then 2018. I love that mask. I don't like the Trick or Treat version of it. Too small. No, I'll say the flashback over the 2018. I like the flashback next. Then I like the 2018. Then I like the kills, and then I like the ends. All right, so it's original 2. All right, flashback, and then I'm going to say 2018, Kills, and then Ends. Now, my favorite movies out of the franchise. Halloween 2 is number 1 for me. Halloween 1 is number 2. Then I like 2018. No, then I like Kills. I like Kills better than 2018. And then I liked 2018, and Ends I don't even like at all. So that's not even on my list. The Mask is badass in Ends, but the movie sucked. And I don't like the movie a little bit. I don't even pretend to flirt with the idea that I think it's very badly made. So Ends is not even something that I would repeat. I would never watch that movie again, outside of maybe trying to get some screenshots of The Mask. So for me, the only ones that Halloween 2, 1981, Halloween 1, 1978, Halloween Kills, because the flashback's in there. That's Halloween Kills, 2018, and that's it. They're the 4 movies. They're the 4 movies. That's it. They're the only 4 movies I liked in the entire franchise. Now, I liked Halloween 4 and 5. I liked the stories, and I hated The Mask. I hated The Mask in all those other movies. I did. It's never felt like Michael Myers to me. It didn't look like Michael Myers. It didn't have the same feel. And the other thing they did in those movies, and you can always tell a cheaply done movie, when you're adding like visual effects like fog and weird stuff like that into the scenes, you're doctoring the movie. You're doctoring what you can't replicate what John Carpenter did. All right, he didn't use fog and all that weird stuff, and then they used all that in those movies. If you look at it, you watch the movie, I pay attention to that because I do visual effects, I do sound effects, I do I can do paint, I can art, I do a lot of stuff. So I've done sound effects for movies. I've done for a few movies. I've done some visual effects. Helped the guy with visual effects. I didn't really do it. He did. He took the credit for it, which I didn't care. I don't care about that. I'm not about it. I'm not an egocentric kind of guy. So it wasn't like that. I helped him out because he couldn't figure out certain things. So I said okay, because I'm better at prosthetics. Because here I am making latex masks and stuff. So pretty much I made the prosthetic for him, and then he did the paint work on it. And I mean, I can do paint work too, but it wasn't about that. It was about helping him get through a tight situation because he was, that's why I don't like doing movies. You can offer me all those movie jobs in the world, I won't take them because you're on a time. They say you got 2 months to get this done. That means 2 months. That doesn't mean 2 months and an hour. It means 2 months. It's you really have to be on tight schedule because every so much money goes into movie making. If you're late with anything, you're costing them thousands of dollars. You cannot be late. As a matter of fact, somebody gives me 2 months, I'm done in a month and a half. No matter what the time frame is, I make sure my shit's done first. I get it done as fast as possible. Now, sometimes in movie situations, you have to wait for other things to develop before you can do the visual effects, or you can do, they're not that far into the movie making process. So you'll get to a point and then they'll go, oh, hold on, we don't know where we're going here yet. Oh, great. That means now you get your back against the wall because now you got to follow their time frame and wait for them to do their thing. So no, I don't envy anybody doing movies. I don't, man. The stress level is sick. And here's what it is. My art ability isn't good enough to be doing movies because of the time constraint. You have to be fast, not just good, you have to be fast. And fast is not in my vocabulary when it comes to doing sculptures. So, with that being said, you got to pick your poison. I'd rather be a mask maker and selling my product. When I get it done, I get it done. When you're in a movie, you got to get it done when they need it done. So, anyway, what else we got? Anybody else saying something? H2 can. All right, wait, I got to back up here. Do you still have the original? Yes, I do. Need this ultra flashback mask. It's mine. 1981, actually. Okay, I'm not sure where I was at in conversation when you're saying that, Asylum. 1981, actually. Yeah, that was Halloween 2 was filmed in 1981. It was 3 years older than the original. Came in 3 years later. I think the actors were better in Halloween 2. I love Bud. He had that East Coast feel. I actually met him, Leo Rossi, and he was so cool. He grew up in Camden, New Jersey, and he was talking about where he was in Camden. Where he actually. I had a pretty long conversation with him when I went to the Monster Mania. Same with Dick Warlock. I got a pretty good long conversation with him. Even with the people waiting in line, because they were just the people that were listening that were close. They could hear the conversation, and they were just as interested in what I was asking him and them as I was interested. So it answered some other questions I guess people don't know to ask. So it was pretty interesting. So I got into some pretty good conversations with both of those actors. And Leo Rossi, man, me and him, you could feel chemistry. When you ever meet somebody and go, yeah, man, we would be great friends. We'd be hanging out we'd be doing crazy stuff if he was living closer to Jersey. But then I knew, it's like I was like, you came from Jersey. You had to come. I grew up in Camden. I was like, no way. I said, I'm telling you, you had that Jersey feel. So it was so weird. And anyway, yeah, he grew up in Camden, New Jersey, and it was funny. He was talking about the old neighborhood and stuff, and how he went back to visit. Because every time he comes up to Monster Mania, it's very seldom, but he gets back to the old neighborhood, and he says, "My God, man, things have changed so much," and it does. It sucks, especially if you haven't been here in a long time, and you come back and you see these things. Just the change sucks. The older you get, the more you want to hang on to your past. Okay, Halloween Ends is the worst Halloween movie. I nearly shit my pants after I finished that crap. Yeah, well, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the movie itself. I love the mask. I do love the mask. I'm doing a Halloween Ends concept mask, by the way, guys. I will be doing one of those. I actually like the fact they used fog. Well, I don't like, because it's tacky. It doesn't need it if your character and your lighting was good. See, what I noticed in those movies, the blue light was overemphasized. It was too blue. It didn't look natural. Here's what I'm getting at. When you're outside in regular moonlight, all right, moonlight has a blue hue to it. It's not blue, but it has a blue hue to it. That's natural lighting. John Carpenter understood that, and he recreated natural blue lighting that a moonlight would actually cause. So he did capture that through the windows, on the house when the wind was blowing, and you saw the scene where the sheriff department drove up in front of the house in Halloween 1. Even Halloween 2 captured that same mood with the right lighting. All right. The lighting was off on the rest of the movies. The other movies, I never liked any of the lighting. It was too artificial. The fog, that to me was tacky. It was like, here, let me put a fog machine over there and get it, flowing in front of Michael, while he walks out from behind the house. I forget what scene it was, but it looked tacky to me. And it looked like, hey, I can do that in my yard. It just doesn't look off. It doesn't look real to me when things are shot like that. So, and then at the end scene where he falls into the ground, I forget which movie it was. He falls into the graveyard that falls into a deep hole or whatever it was. That whole scene looks so bad. Just looks. It looked like somebody's front lawn display, cheaply done front lawn Halloween display. How can I put it? You know, that's what it comes across to me. Now, if I had the money and I had the youth and I had the time, I could put a display out in front of my property that would give you such a realistic feel of like moonlight actually hitting the surfaces, causing natural shadowing, and putting the fans at a distance. Now, in film, you don't hear the fans because they don't use the sound from the actual screen. When they shoot the movie, you don't hear the sound from the fan blowing the trees and stuff. You just get the visual effect of the trees swaying back and forth because they've got these giant turbo fans blowing on those trees. You don't know that. You don't hear that. You don't see any of that. Same thing with the rain when they're shooting the rain up into the air and it comes down naturally. You don't hear any of the pumps or any of the bilge pumps that are doing that. You don't hear none of that. You get after effects with sound effects. And how I know that is because I do that stuff. So there's a lot of magic that happens in movies. But lighting is really, really key, man. Good lighting is so key. And that's why The Mask looks so scary in Halloween 1 and in 2. The lighting was superb. The lighting was... think about the scene where in the hospital in Halloween 2, Michael was behind the curtain, all right? But the natural moonlight was coming in from behind him through the window, and it was giving it a very natural look of lighting. The lighting was right. And it's because a lot of the same people were doing the movie, except for John Carpenter, but he was called in. He was called in later because Rick Rosenthal, I think it was Rosenthal, I can't remember his name. They didn't like the way he edited the movie, so John Carpenter came in and re-edited all the footage that he had. But the same people were doing a lot of the film, the visual effects. So, that's why it turned out so good. The only parts of the ends I've seen is movie clips. They made Michael an old man, and how long did he stay in the sewer again? How old was he during 2018? Well, he was in his 60s. Michael Myers was 6 years old in 1963. So that tells you his age. He was 21 in 1978. All right. And it was 50 years later. 2018 is 50 years later. So if he was 21 in 78, and it was 50 years later, Michael Myers was actually in 2018 71 years old. Does that sound right? In 2018? No, he was born. He was 6 and 63. So wait a minute. Let me figure it out here. 63. So he was born in 57. So Michael Myers was born in 57. In 2018. All right, so I'm 63 years right now, and Michael was 5 years older than me. I was born in 62. He was 6 years old in 63. So Michael's 5 years older than me right now. So he would have been, all right, so let me see. I'm 63. 63. Michael Myers is 68 years old right now. All right, so uh, so 2018 was shot 8 years ago. So in 2018, he would have been 59, 59 or 60. I forget. I don't know. I need to do the math. I just gave you the ages and everything. I'll tell you what. Michael's 5 years older than me, and I'm 63 years old. There you go. That's all I need to know. Based on uh, how old he was in the original movie when Loomis says, "I met the 6-year-old child." Well, that's when he murdered his sister at 6 years old. So. H2 RBH. Are you talking about Rob Zombie's H2? I don't know. I don't know which one. RBH, you're losing me here. H2 was the best movie. I think the best movie out there. I think it was the best one because and this is a personal reason. This isn't. I think that it was shot better or better actor. There was better actors because I like Lance Guest, and I love Leo Rossi, and Pamela Shoop. She was great. Best boobies on film at the time. Uh, best boob shot ever. And at that time, uh, the hot tub scene was great. The kills were awesome in that movie. I love the needle in the eye and the temple. Uh, that was a great kill. Um, and then jacking that woman up in the hallway with nothing but a little scalpel. I mean, come on. He didn't need a big weapon. Michael was Michael. You know what I mean? He doesn't need a huge weapon. He doesn't have to be walking around with a machete or anything. He'd take anything in his hands, and it becomes a weapon. And that's what's so cool about Michael Myers. Um, he can turn anything into a weapon. Christ, in 2018, he turned that, was it 2018 or Kills? Where he stuck the light bulb through the black woman's throat. I mean, that was sick. That was great. Great kill. It's creative. He just, and he doesn't even think. He just looks at the bulb, smashes it, and just that's it, man. I was like, damn, that was cold. uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't even care. It just yeah. Michael Myers was born in '57. I figured that already. Um, Born in '57, so that makes him. He's 5 years older than me. He's 68 years old right now. If he was playing, if Michael Myers was a real character in real life, he would be 68 years old right now. And he was 60 years old in 2018 because that was 8 years ago. The 2018 movie was 8 years ago. So that he was 60 in 2018. Yeah, I don't like Rob Zombie's movies. They explain too much of Michael Myers, and I don't want an explanation of why he does what he does. That's what John Carpenter even said. He says he was just Michael Myers is just a killing machine. He just did. There was no rhyme or reason. He just killed people, and that was it. They tried to. Oh, he's killing animals at a young age and all this. I mean, I don't want. It was, and it was too. what's the right word? I don't like his films. I don't like any of his films, Rob Zombie's. They're too harsh. They're too hardcore. You know, there's there's just something like it lacks storytelling, and it's all about the gore and all about the foul language you know, there was just the dialogue wasn't that great. There's just so many things about it that were bad in that movie. Even the first one, even his first one, when he and I don't like Myers being 6 foot or 7 foot tall because he looked too lanky. He was too big. Michael Myers' original size was only 5'10". You know, he was only 5'10". You know, what were you going to try to do? Turning him into a Jason? You know, that's not who Michael is. You know, and that's the other thing. You make him more into a Frankenstein. Um, there's parts of that I do like, though, when thinking about that. I'll give you a little theory. Halloween 1, 1978 versus Halloween 2, 1981. A lot of people question why were the characters played so differently. And I just watched on a panel at one of the Dick Warlock explained why he played Michael so differently. And right from his mouth. I just saw it on YouTube yesterday. It was last night I was watching it. He was on a panel with all the Michael Myers that played Michael Myers, the actors that played the roles. And he was on the very end. And his explanation of how he played Michael Myers, he said that he took one scene from Halloween 1 and amplified it. And it was the scene where he sat up. It was by the closet door. He sat down, or he fell down after he got stabbed in the eye and in the throat or whatever. And he fell down onto the floor. Jamie Lee Curtis came out of the closet, dropped the knife like a dummy twice in the movie. I always look back at that and I think, what the hell? You don't drop the knife twice. Wow. Okay, so blonde moment, I guess. Anyway, so it was the scene where Michael sat up very robotically and then turned his head on a very robotic look. And Dick Warlock said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Michael Myers as very robotic. My original theory was just a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, I talked about this on YouTube here, about why I think he played Michael Myers more zombie-ish, like, you know, very robotic looking. And he said robotic, I said zombie-ish. But at that point, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, it was only a theory on what I thought. I thought that maybe Michael's been shot so many times that he can't be a natural human being. He's got to be some kind of supernatural. So I thought, well, maybe Dick Warlock thought, okay, well, I got to play him as more zombie-ish, maybe somebody that's not really alive. That was my theory. But no, I was wrong. He basically said robotic. He said that when he saw that scene where he sat up very robotically, straight up from a laying down position, and then just turned his head and looked at her as she was standing in the doorway. That scene is what gave him the way he played Michael Myers. That was the scene that actually gave him his idea and how he was going to play him in Halloween 2, 1981. I love Dick Warlock, man. God, it sucks. We're losing stars left and right now. I liked it, DP24, because it explained, I mean, it said to me that, look, after he got shot 7 times, not 6 times, he got shot 7 times off the balcony and then fell off and then landed and then got up and walked away. That's not human. Nobody does that. All right. So My theory was simply this. Going into the second movie, he was more zombie-ish. To me, it would be like, you're looking at an undead guy. You're looking at a dead guy that's, the unconscious mind, as what's his name, as Dr. Loomis said. But I don't know exactly what he was supposed to be. Nobody explained that, but to me, I liked it because it felt right. It felt like the right thing to do. He couldn't run around like he used to because it didn't look right, because that would have suggested human, more human qualities, saying that he was still alive. And I don't think he was alive in Halloween 2. I think it was just a better way to play it. Well, in the new timeline, I think that it's just been done so many times with the Laurie Strode being the sister and stuff. I don't mind that wasn't in the story, Raphael. Uh, but Halloween Ends. I'm going to give you guys a script idea, not a script, an idea of how I would have ended Halloween 2, or Halloween Ends, the proper way. Hold on, let me plug this in because my phone is down to like 5%. And we gotta change. We gotta put that. So I'm probably not gonna do anything today. I demolded it. I'm gonna mold it tomorrow. I got to do some work to this tonight. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna clean this up and get it ready for the mold tomorrow morning. Okay, so I'm plugged in. Yay. Okay. Make sure it's plugged in here. So okay. So, all right. Halloween Ends. Where it should have picked up from is in Halloween Kills, when Laurie Strode's daughter was killed in Michael Myers' house, where he came up from behind her as she was looking out the window, and he killed her. All right. Where they should have picked up from, Halloween 2. This would have been a much better Halloween Ends. Much better. And I would have never killed Michael Myers off. Never. You don't kill Michael Myers. He's not alive. He's been stabbed, shot, all these things. No way. Sorry, he's not alive. So, with that being said, so try to visualize this. All right, the movie picks up with you're hearing, you're seeing a cop in the window looking down at Laurie Strode's daughter. From downstairs, you're looking up, and you're seeing this in the camera's point of view. All right. Meanwhile, off to the left, behind the house, you see Michael Myers cutting through the backyard. All right, going through the backyard. But meanwhile, on the radio, the cops hailing down to the cop car, hey, somebody needs to let Laurie Strode know that her daughter has been murdered. Or I forget exactly how it was. I forget how I had it worded. But anyway, somebody needs to let them know that Laurie Strode's daughter at the hospital. Somebody needs to let somebody know at the hospital that Laurie Strode's daughter has been murdered at the Myers house location. Michael Myers is close enough to hear that over the radio on the car, but they never see Michael Myers leaving. And he overhears, well, Laurie has been transported to another hospital outside of town, in a more suburb area. Now, with that being said, Michael hears the location and he beelines it to this hospital. All right. Now, this hospital, just like Halloween 2, the original, would have been full circle. This movie would have been full circle. It would have brought the Halloween 2 into this instead of the way they shot this Ends movie. It sucked. So what I would do is now Michael is going to that hospital on foot. Meanwhile, he picks up some kills on the way. Maybe steals a car, kills somebody to get in the car so he can drive to this hospital or whatever. Whatever he's got to do, he gets there. All right. Now he gets to the hospital and you're getting, oh my God, instead of you got Lance Guest, you can bring that back, bring him back into the movie. You can bring Leo Rossi back into the movie because Halloween 2, 1981 never happened in this timeline. So they could have been brought back into this movie as doctors or, not orderlies because they're too old for that, but nurses, doctors, whatever, whatever, therapist, whatever. They could have been anything. And I don't even care what the ending is. The movie itself made no sense to me. It sucked. I don't care what the ending was or what it would have been. It didn't matter because the movie itself sucked. So, but my rendition would have brought back the original Halloween 2 cast. And you could have had Dick Warlock in there. Now, just like they did with Michael Myers, with Nick Castle, James Jude Courtney could have shared the screen with Dick Warlock. And Dick Warlock could have wore the mask and wore the outfit again in the movie. The one thing about movie magic is you can't tell how tall anybody is. They can make anybody look exactly like the same size as the other guy. Just camera angles, different things. And it would have been so cool to have Dick Warlock play Michael Myers in a scene. He's 80 years old, 82 now, 83 maybe. But if they had brought him back into the fold and just gave him a little honorary role as Michael Myers, as they did for Nick Castle. So my thought is, I think that would have been such a badass movie, and you could have had all new, different, clever kills. You could have maybe a little more people in the hospital, but still that desolate isolation it felt like in the hospital. The reason why that movie sit so well with me, because back in 1981, I worked at a hospital. All right, I was not an orderly. I was doing floor finishing. I'm sorry. I actually did a little bit of orderly work, but I got out of that. I didn't like it. Anyway, so I started doing floor finishing when I first went into the hospital. I was young. I was fairly young. I was like 1982. So I was just 20 years old. And I had a floor finishing business from my dad that passed away. But I took over his floor finishing business and I was making big bucks, man. I was making $900 a night doing all these floors all over the city, where I work, where I live. So I worked at the hospital. I took on the job at the hospital as a floor finisher. And it was cool because 1981 hospital reminded me of our little hospital here in Cape May Courthouse. It used to be called Burdett Tomlin. Well, when I first started working there in 81, it was a very small hospital. It wasn't nearly as big as it is now. Now Cooper has it, and it's huge. But it was I think how many floors? 2 floors? That's as tall as it was. It was only 2 floors high. And it was all old and and at nighttime they would lower the lights and there was barely any nurses. There wasn't not a lot of people. So, and especially in the wintertime, and it reminded me of that working there, doing the floors at nighttime and how desolate it was. And I thought, man, that was so cool because it reminded me of where I worked. And I guess that's why I really love that movie and how authentic it felt for me seeing Halloween 2 because of where I worked in that hospital. So it was cool. I made pretty good money doing that too, doing the floors there, because those floors had to be done a special way to get that mirror finish. And you had to do what they call burnishing and all that fun stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to be on much longer. So, yeah, I'm just rattling on, talking to you guys, and showing you the Ultra with the fly on the nose, the Ultra Flashback, the Ultra FB78 by Custom Corpses. There it is, and it's been molded in silicone, and I just took the silicone off of it. So, yeah. Man, that fly's just driving me crazy. I can't wait to whack the shit out of that. I got my fly swatter over there. I'm going to go grab it as soon as I end this stream. Get rid of this sucker. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodnight. Goodbye. It's good night. It's only 1:53 in the afternoon. I'm so used to doing this at nighttime. But I had a lot of people on, which is cool. So, peace, everybody. I'll see you on the next stream. I just wanted to update you what I was doing. And go check out the FB78 or the V2 FB78 on eBay. Maybe it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't care. I'm going to take it down anyway. Yeah, happy birthday. My birthday was June 29th. Yeah, I'm an old man now. I'm officially over the hill. 62 is retirement age. I'm 63 now, so I'm officially over the hill. So, Asylum, do me a favor and email me at DJ Styles with 3 Y's. All right, DJ Styles with 3 Y's at Verizon.net. Or no, I'm sorry, not at Verizon. I got rid of that account. At gmail.com. At gmail.com, it's DJSTYYY, 3 Y's, LES, at gmail.com. I want to give you my personal phone number. All right. So, you guys, really have been close with me. I want you guys to have my actual phone number, and we can talk and chat. Okay. So this way you can actually reach out to me and like if there's any kind of alterations or anything that you want done special to a mask, reach out to me. Yeah, so it's DJST, D is in dog, J is in jump, S, it's Styles with 3 Y's, STYYLES at gmail.com. Reach out to me. Do it right now as soon as you get off of here. This way I can send you my phone number and you'll have it, and then we can talk. Yeah, man. And we can chat. We can but I really loved your video, Asylum, man. I mean, really loved it. Loved it. I had to edit it for the website. No, not the website. I used your video, a part of it, for my on eBay. If you go to the eBay and look up this mask, I used your video, but I had to clip it down because they only allow you to put 1 minute on there. So I had to clip your 9-minute video down to 1 minute, and I took out. Now the one thing I didn't get to do on there was put your logo and all your. But they go to the website, they see the full video. Joe Thorburn, no, I did not. I'm sorry, that was a message. That's not on here. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, reach out to me, Asylum, and then I'll give you my phone number. Yeah, the guys that have been with me the longest all through these years, I'd rather make it more personal, yeah. Contacts with you guys, and I thank all of you for all your help during this process of making this sculpture. It's finally really coming into a perfect version of this flashback. It's going to be awesome. All right, guys. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next stream. And Asylum, I'm going to look for that email as soon as you send it, and I'll send you my phone number. All right, and you can send me yours too if you want, but that's up to you. All right, peace, everybody. Bye bye.